first part of The Lost Legacy, we meet Lila, a young woman who inherits a mysterious letter and key from her grandmother, urging her to visit Venice. Along with her best friend Kai, she embarks on this journey to uncover her family's hidden past. In Venice, they meet a stranger who warns them about the dangers tied to Lila's legacy. He reveals that her grandmother was part of a secret order, and the key unlocks an ancient book of power that holds great knowledge and danger. As they uncover the ancient book, Lila realizes it's alive, tied to her ancestry, and holds the key to a long-hidden mystery. However, unlocking its secret sets dangerous forces in motion. Lila and Kai find themselves hunted by shadowy figures intent on seizing the book. Their journey has only begun, but they are already in danger, forced to run for their lives while seeking to understand the secrets they've inherited. The moment Lila touched the book, a pulse of energy surged through her fingertips, shooting up her arm like lightning. She gasped, but she didn't pull away. It was as if the book recognized her, like it had been waiting for her all this time. Kai stood beside her, his eyes wide with concern, but the stranger remained silent, watching intently. The room felt different now, almost alive. The air was thick with tension, and Lila could feel the weight of the centuries pressing down on her, the countless secrets buried within the pages she now held. "What's happening?" Kai asked, stepping closer. "Lila, are you okay?" Lila nodded, though she wasn't entirely sure. Her heart was pounding in her chest, and her hands seemed glued to the book. It was as though something within it was stirring, something ancient and powerful. She could feel its presence, like a whisper at the back of her mind. Finally, she managed to pull her hand away. The energy receded, but the connection remained. "I'm fine," she said, her voice shaky. "But this book, it's more than just a key. It's alive. Kai, it's like it knows me." The stranger stepped forward, his expression unreadable. "That's because it does. The book holds the knowledge and will of those who came before you, your ancestors, including your grandmother. It's a living record of their journey, their sacrifices, and their discoveries. But it also holds great danger." Lila's eyes flicked to the book, her pulse quickening again. "Danger? What kind of danger?" The stranger's gaze hardened. "Once you open it, you'll be bound to its legacy. The knowledge inside isn't just history, it's power. Power that others will kill to possess. By claiming it, you've already set things in motion. There are people, dangerous people, who will stop at nothing to take it from you." Kai put a protective arm around Lila. "So, what do we do now? Just run and hide?" The stranger shook his head. "No, running won't help. The only way to protect yourselves is to understand what's in that book, to learn how to use the knowledge inside before it's too late. But you can't do it alone." Lila stared at the book, her mind racing. She felt the weight of her grandmother's legacy more than ever now, the responsibility pressing down on her shoulders. She had to be strong. She had to figure this out. With determination in her eyes, she met the stranger's gaze. "Then help us. If you know so much about this, you must know what we need to do." The stranger hesitated, his face unreadable once more. "I can guide you, but understand this. Once you open that book, everything changes. You'll be hunted, and you'll need to be prepared for the choices you'll have to make. Some of them won't be easy." Lila exchanged a glance with Kai. She could see the worry in his eyes, but there was no turning back now. Not after everything they had been through. Not with the legacy of her family on the line. "I'm ready," she said, her voice resolute. The stranger nodded. "Then let the awakening begin." Lila sat cross-legged on the floor of the chamber, the ancient book resting in front of her. The stranger had told them that the book was not just any collection of knowledge, but a guide that only she could unlock. It required a connection, an understanding of her ancestry, to reveal its secrets. She had no idea what would happen when she opened it, but she couldn't let fear stop her now. Kai stood beside her, his arms crossed and a look of concern etched on his face. "Are you sure about this, Lila? We don't know what's in there." Lila nodded, though her heart was pounding in her chest. "I have to. This is what my grandmother wanted me to find. It's the only way to understand what she was trying to protect." The stranger stood back, watching them silently, as if testing their resolve. He hadn't given them his name, but it was clear he knew more about the book and its history than he let on. Taking a deep breath, Lila placed her hands on the cover. It was cool to the touch, despite the ancient, weathered look of the leather. Slowly, She opened it, and a gust of cold air swept through the room. The pages were filled with symbols, drawings, and passages written in languages Lila didn't recognize. Suddenly, the symbols began to glow, and the pages turned on their own, flipping rapidly as if searching for something. Lila watched, mesmerized, as the book seemed to come alive under her hands. Then, the pages stopped, landing on a single passage. The symbols glowed brighter, and Lila felt a strange sensation wash over her, as though the book was speaking to her, not in words, but in feelings, images, and memories. She saw flashes of people she had never met, places she had never been, and yet they felt familiar, like echoes of a past she couldn't quite remember. Her grandmother's voice whispered in her mind, faint but clear, telling her to be strong, to trust the legacy. Suddenly, the images stopped and the room fell silent. The book had revealed its first secret. "What did you see?" Kai asked, kneeling beside her. Lila blinked, trying to process the flood of emotions and memories. "I'm not sure, but it was like I was reliving something from the past. I think the book is trying to show me what my grandmother went through." The stranger stepped forward, his face serious. "That's only the beginning. The book will reveal more as you connect with it. But you need to be careful. It can be overwhelming." Lila nodded, feeling the weight of the book in her hands. "I'm ready for whatever comes next." The eerie silence in the chamber didn't last long. Just as Lila began to feel some sense of understanding, a loud crash echoed through the hallways. Kai jumped to his feet, his eyes scanning the shadows. What was that? The stranger's face darkened. "They are here." Lila felt a chill run down her spine. "Who's here?" Before he could answer, the chamber door burst open and a group of figures stormed inside. They were dressed in dark clothing, their faces hidden beneath hoods, and they moved with a precision that sent a jolt of fear through Lila. These weren't ordinary people, they were hunters, and they were after the book. "Take the book and run," the stranger shouted, drawing a dagger from beneath his coat. Lila didn't hesitate. She grabbed the book and stuffed it into her bag. Kai was at her side in an instant, pulling her toward the exit. But the hunters were fast, already closing in on them. "We won't make it," Kai yelled, his eyes wide with fear. Lila's heart raced as she glanced back. The stranger was fighting off two of the attackers, but more were pouring into the room. "We have to try." Together, they bolted down the corridor, the sounds of battle and footsteps echoing behind them. The hunters, as they rounded a corner, Kai pulled her into a small alcove, pressing his back against the wall. "We can't keep running. They'll catch us eventually." Lila clutched the book to her chest, her mind racing. "We need a plan." Kai glanced around, his expression tense. "I'm open to suggestions." Suddenly, the stranger appeared, blood streaking his face, but still standing strong. "They'll never stop. You have to get out of Venice, now." Lila's eyes widened. "But how?" "They are everywhere." The stranger wiped the blood from his brow. "There's a way, but you'll have to trust me." Lila didn't have time to question him. The sound of footsteps was getting louder. "What do we do?" The stranger handed her a small, metallic device. "Use this when you reach the docks. It'll lead you to safety." Before Lila could ask what it was, the hunters rounded the corner.